The epic and unbeatable Scrabble. The nerds with attitude.
Oh, I watched 2 Godzilla movies last night. Oh boy.
Did you have fun? That sounds like a regular night for me.
It was okay. I got questions for the 2017 one. I got questions for it. But
2014.
2004. You keep switching.
This is no. This is gonna be an ongoing joke with us. You know the 1878 Godzilla.
Oh man, last night because I was asking Isaac stuff while I was watching the 2014 one, and then at this point I was just doing it on purpose now, and then he was like, "You just doing it on purpose now, you bastard." Because I blatantly did it where I had said, yeah, the 2015 and then the 1999.
It's like 1988 one. I was like, Walt. I know you know this by now.
Well, welcome to the N.W.A. Nerds with Attitude, where we talk about nerd stuff. We are going to be getting into Godzilla, because this month is Godzilla month. Also, it is JR's month. I tried to do that like Sega, like JR. Nah.
JR.
Ah, there we go. Yeah, there we go.
Your pitch wasn't right.
And like I said, you heard that. That's JR, AnimusPrime.
What's up?
Godzilla enthusiast himself, OldHunterRage, Isaac.
What up? What up?
And it is I, Shin the Hero, aka Walt. And we are going to be talking about we're mainly going to be talking about the Godzilla 2014, but we are also going to talk about the 89 one.
You did it again.
I know the
old man.
I know the years, but now I just do it on purpose now. But we're gonna be talking about those Godzillas, and because they're fresh in my mind, I just saw both of them last night, and we're gonna compare and contrast them. Not gonna lie, I don't know if it's because I remember while I was watching the Godzilla one, I remember going to the theaters, actually seeing that in theaters. I remember that, like when it was started and everything with the geckos and then the atomic bomb thing, and I was like, I remember all this, and it started to come back where I started to remember all the media and stuff for it. Like this had like so much hype for it before this Godzilla movie came out. I don't know if y'all remember that, but like I wholeheartedly remember that. He was in commercials. He was in commercials with the Keto Taco Bell dog. He was in
I remember that.
He was in a lot of stuff. That Godzilla was in a lot of stuff, and then it kind of just tanked.
Yep.
It made over like 300 million.
Which is like chump change at this point.
Yeah, it is chump change.
Yeah.
But like at that time, it did relatively well. I mean, it didn't open really good because it only opened under like 54,000 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But before this movie had hit, they were talking about that this was supposed to be a 3-picture. This was supposed to be a trilogy.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was.
I know.
I could see that.
It was supposed to be a trilogy, and then the second movie, was supposed to happen where that one egg at the end where it hatches and everything, a new Godzilla is formed, and he was actually going to be fighting other monsters and stuff in the second movie. Like they was gonna start introducing other stuff, other monsters and stuff like that. But they didn't really get to a second movie. The sequel is the animated series, which is crazy because like everything back in the 90s did get an anime. If it was relatively popular, it got a cartoon.
Yep.
And then the cartoon
Basically.
became way better. The cartoon is more beloved than the movie is that it came from.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Because the cartoon got 3 seasons, dog. And it's one of
fantastic
those
show.
And it's one of those fake anime cartoons. Like it has a lot of Japanese influence, anime influence in the cartoon. But yeah, man,
That makes you really want to watch it.
yeah, I do
Yeah,
want to watch it. I've been looking for. I was like, man, I want to.
I remember having. I think I have like the first season on DVD, but I don't remember like where I saw the rest of it.
Man, I was looking up stuff and it said it was on Crackle, but who uses Crackle?
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I went on Crackle the other day to see if it was there, and they said they took it off. I was like, no.
Dang.
Oh, dang!
I was sad.
And then I kept getting stuff saying that it was on Netflix, but it's Netflix's that anime.
I think. No, but I think they did have it on Netflix at one point. I think that's where I watched the rest of it. But they don't have any.
But yeah, we're talking about those. I'm not okay. I watched it, and me comparing it to the 2014 one, me comparing it to that, they're not that much different, because like from the time when the time of the 79 one came out, then the time when that one came out, the CG and everything was pretty decent in there, and like to me that movie, it focused more on Godzilla versus the 2004 one. The 2004 one, I'm gonna confuse people. The 2014 one, the 2014 one, the reboot, if you say, like, cause he's been rebooted a lot, but the reboot one, it's like Godzilla is featuring Godzilla. Like he just shows up, he beats up 2 monsters and dips, and that's it.
Yep.
But the movie is called Godzilla, and it's almost like an hour 40, almost 45 minutes before you actually see him. In the 1998 one, you see him in like the first 10 minutes, and like and it's Godzilla. It is a monster movie, but like the Godzilla is the plot. In this one, Godzilla is not the plot. He's just kind of there. It's about Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. And then at one,
the actors.
And Quicksilver's dad, Heisenberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god! So like I'm really pissed off at that too, because I would want Heisenberg to like do something about Godzilla, and instead he just
dies.
He fucking bites it just when he's proven right.
Like that. I'm not gonna sit here and say the 1998 one was a great movie. It was fun. Like it might also be me and my nostalgia talking too, because as I was watching this movie, and I was just like, why was this so critically panned? And I was reading some of the reviews and stuff. And most of it was saying like it didn't follow the formula of the old ones, of the old Godzilla movies or anything like that. And Godzilla looked at more like a dinosaur than like a monster, a creature monster. And I was just like, man.
Yeah, that's basically it. That they're not looking at it objectively. They're comparing it to Godzilla, like
Right.
because it's called Godzilla. Like they don't see this thing as the Godzilla that they know. It just treats it like America fucked up on their own.
Yeah. Like we've got a lot of American stuff that's been Americanized, and I just like the human element in the 1998 one was a bit. It was cliche and all that, but I cared more for those characters versus the characters in the 2014. Now I haven't seen.
Absolutely.
I haven't seen.
Yeah, you really do.
I haven't seen the King of Monsters or Kong Skull Island yet, but the human element in the 2014 one is weak. Like I'm like, and the thing about it was like the and I was yelling at the TV in 2014. There's a scene where this man, Godzilla was just minding his goddamn business the entire. He was swimming. He didn't even break through he didn't even break through a freaking boat or anything. He went under the thing and then came out, and I was like, dog. And then they were following him for like, I don't know, hours. And then when they finally get to the that bridge, and they start shooting that man, I was like, what the fuck? Why are y'all shooting? He didn't do anything. He just popped up.
I mean, what would you do when you see a giant monster barreling towards you?
I get that. But they were with him for a hot minute. They didn't attack. Godzilla didn't even attack them. The Ken Watanabe, I forget his character's name. He kept telling them, let this man, nature has a way to bring back order. This man is order. And I told this man, Isaac, I was like, Godzilla basically showed up from Monster Island. He was like, oh, they need to come home. And then Godzilla goes and be like, yo, dog, you need to come home. I'm bringing you back home. And the new monster was like, no. And then Godzilla was like, bet. and he basically was saving the world. He was basically saving the world. Where some stuff got messed up, yeah, sure, but they just attacked him, man, out of like just fear, I guess. There was no reason for them to attack Godzilla. There was no reason for them to attack him. Like the other things were doing more damage than Godzilla did, and then they unloaded on him for like no reason.
Like, it's funny that you talk about like how he was saving the world, but he caused damage. Like, there was this how it should have ended, like, animated short that they did about Godzilla, and at the very end, Superman from the Man of Steel shows up, and he's like, "Really, you're cheering for him? I saved, like, I saved the entire city, but because I did some damage. Oh, you all depressed about that? You shame me for that? You know what? Screw you guys." I was like, oh wow.
And then the way the movie ends too, like we think he's dead and everything. That man gets up because it's like he woke up from a quick sleep and he's drilling from his mouth like, huh? What? Oh, movie's over.
Yeah, that
becomes
a thing in the MonsterVerse. Godzilla needs his rest a lot because he uses a lot of energy when he does his stuff. So you see him take a lot of naps. He takes a ton of naps.
I mean, he's a big dude. He caused some mayhem. He sleeps. He wakes up. He caused some mayhem. He sleeps.
And he was getting bodied by that wing, the smaller one, the wing one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, man, Godzilla don't got no kind of air game, man. He does not have any no kind of air game whatsoever. He don't have no negative anti-air attacks. He ain't got nothing, man. Body.
He did use an anti-air. He got that tail, so
he did. Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
he snuck.
I'm remembering like the old movies, and I'm like, he has had some trouble with flying monsters.
Yep.
Yeah.
That seems to be a recurring thing with him. Until there's until there's Godzilla versus Hedorah, where Hedorah flies very far away, and Godzilla's like, dope, I could do that too, and jumps in the air, shoots his beam, and flies across the... I was like, oh my god. There's no way that he could do this. But yeah, Walt, it's funny you're saying all this because you sound exactly like I did a few days after I saw 2014. Although I'm not even joking. I saw 2014 like 5 times in theaters because I loved it so much. And then I really started to think about it. And I was like, the only reason I enjoy this movie is because of the 10 minutes where Godzilla is. And
yeah,
those 10 minutes is not enough to warrant, the love I have for this movie. Because he's not in the movie as much as I would love him to be, which is a criticism that I don't have about King of the Monsters. I'm very happy with that movie, obviously. But the 98 one, like you were talking about, I think I was telling JR about this a while back. My whole thing with the 98 movie is it's a good monster movie. Like, it's really fun. The characters are great. What the monster does is awesome. That's just not Godzilla, though.
and that's one of the things about with the reviews and stuff I was reading about the 1998 one. Like, the 1998 one, to me, as I was watching this, I was like, they could have labeled this different. They could have did this a different.
Yeah, absolutely.
They could have just gave this a different name or something.
Yeah, they called him some like something else, like Terror from the Deep or whatever.
Yeah.
Then it might have fared better. Might have had a better reception.
Yeah, that's exactly how I feel, because like this is one of your B tier giant monster movies, like Lake Placid or Deep Blue Sea with the giant white sharks. Yeah, the sharks and everything. But like it's one of those. It's just like that, or it's basically a disaster movie. But like this isn't Godzilla. He kind of looks like a Godzilla, but like he basically just an oversized Tyrannosaurus Rex. That's exactly what he is, because he doesn't have Godzilla's. And then they make homage to, and this is one of the things that I don't know why movies don't do this. Like, when you get to certain things, like, even this would be the first and only time I'll talk about Dragon Ball Evolution, but the way they turned the Kamehameha into freaking airbending angered me. And this Godzilla movie, the 1998 one, they didn't even give him his signature fire breathing technique. They made it up where it was just a roar and some cars blew up, and then he just blew fire out. He didn't have flame breath. He didn't have his signature attack. And I think this movie also probably wouldn't have been panned as bad as it was if he just fought something other than the military. Every monster movie.
Well, Godzilla originally fought the army, like when he started.
Yeah, I would say I totally get where you're coming from, Walt. But I think they did the whole thing where, like, you've seen Godzilla fight against the military before, but they were like, we're going to put a new spin on it. He's going to be even faster than them, and they have helicopters now, and, it's going to be like a whole different battle, but at its core, it's still the original 1954 movie, except with, a creature that's definitely not Godzilla.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
But it's funny you were talking about the fire breath thing, because I remember when I started watching this movie as a kid, I was like vaguely familiar with Godzilla. I didn't know a ton about it, and as a kid, I loved this movie. And then I grew up and I saw other Godzilla movies. I was like, that's just no, And he does the flame breath thing, And in this movie, I was like, oh, that's cool as a kid. And then you fast forward to the 2014 one. You don't see him do the flame breath for most of the movie. And then you see his tail come out of the smoke, and his tail starts to light up, and I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be so cool.
He does it twice. He does it twice in the 2014 movie.
No, but
and the second time is glorious.
I loved it when they did that in the 2014. Like, as soon as I heard like a rumble, and then I saw like a little bit of blue showing up on his tail, I immediately was like, yeah. I was grabbing my seat and I was like throttling it. I was like, do it, burn him.
I mean, and the second time it was cool. The second time, like he got after he body he smacked the moth thing. The flying one, he smacked that thing with his tail and killed it. He was like, well, nope, I'm about to drop this other one too because I'm tired. And he just opened the mouth and said,
I'm pretty sure he has never done anything like that. So that was like a unique kill.
And then and then he was like, and then he looked at Quicksilver's character. He just was like, I got you, homie. And then he went to sleep. And he just went to sleep. And my biggest thing though was like, when I watched it in 2014, the first time you see Godzilla, he's in the water and everything, and then when he comes up out where the bridge, everything, the music was cool and all that, John. But like the kid in me, I was like, man, this movie be a 10 out of 10 if they just said dum 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 up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky, Godzilla, and then he pops up. I was like, yo.
Okay, I really need to look up that theme song because
that theme song is really good.
Like, is that for the original animated series?
It's the 70s one. I want to say it's 70s, 60s.
The Hanna-Barbera one.
Yeah, it's from that one.
Yeah. I know that exists, but I didn't know it had like a theme song.
Yeah, it does have a theme song.
It was Godzilla and his little cousin Godzuki.
Godzuki?
Yeah, he's got little wings too. He's adorable.
Yeah.
You are fucking kidding me.
I'm not.
It was.
I can't believe that.
It was really back in the day where the cartoon character, like the popular cartoon character, they would normally give him a sidekick. Like that's how Scrappy Doo became a thing. But like Godzilla, then so Hanna-Barbera was like, man, we gotta. Besides the humans, because the humans would call Godzilla, like they were homies with Godzilla, and he had this box. He pressed a button and it made it like a noise, and then Godzilla would come wherever they were. It was almost like how Superman gave Jimmy Olsen that watch, and anytime he did the watch, Superman would come no matter what. So but they was like, man, we need another dinosaur, so they made Godzuki basically. Like Godzuki is the equivalent to Scooby-Doo's Scrappy.
Scrappy-Doo.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Or his
pretty much.
Or his Boo Boo from Yogi Bear. Or
No, at least Boo Boo was good. Like he was always there. No, I would think Scrappy is the better comparison because.
Or even when Captain Caveman got a son. Captain Caveman Jr. So like it's like that. They always give him a sidekick, something where they can, and it's mainly to sell toys.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That.
But I wasn't expecting Godzuki in this. I want Godzuki, but I'm pretty sure he's not gonna show up. But
you never know, man.
But the entire time though, I was just like, it's just the.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the theme song right now. It was good until Godzuki showed up.
Yeah, and then there's like, and Godzuki.
What is this Barney-looking character?
Godzilla.
And then And then he was like, and Godzuki, and I'm like, no. He looks like a Barney character. Oh no.
He does look like a Barney character.
Yeah. Godzuki wasn't a fan favorite. Let's just say that. For kids, he was.
It makes. This is so hilarious. Like it got so serious. Like Godzilla. Like he looked so menacing, and then all of a sudden, and Godzuki. Like he immediately killed the tone. And after like they introduced him, they sing Godzilla again, and there's like flames from the depths of hell coming up, and I'm like, what the fuck? Pick a tone, man. I would not see myself watching.
It's not that bad of a show.
It's not terrible.
No, just for Godzuki, no.
I mean, it's no
Godzilla.
Godzilla.
Definitely dated.
Yeah, it is very dated. It's not no Godzilla the series, but
yeah.
I remember watching that and the Centurions and all that junk. That was before it was on Cartoon Network.
I've learned my mistake from Scrappy. Never again.
But yeah, I like. It's just the human characters in the 2014 one. It really, in all honesty, like they only really needed the military and then Ken Watanabe's character. If they focused more on him, then that would have been a thing. Or if they didn't kill Bryan Cranston's character off, they just let him be alive and everything and let him do his thing. He was a more interesting character. But no, we focus on his son, who we didn't even see in the flashback, and we focus on the son and his whole thing trying to get back to his family. It was like I was like, I don't care. You called it Godzilla. I want to know about Godzilla, but throughout this whole time, you're focusing on these made up monsters that aren't even part of the monsterverse or the Godzilla mythos. You focus more on them, and Godzilla is like a footnote in his own movie. This is Ninja Turtles all over again.
Yep.
Yeah, basically.
And I'm not talking about the 1990 ones. I'm talking about the Bay Turtles.
One.
Yeah, I'm talking about the Bay Turtles. And it's that all over again, and I'm just like. And I'm assuming King of the Monsters rectify that, like, cause I'm assuming because this is the first time I've seen this movie, and I know there was a lot of talk, like when that first movie first came out, people were talking about was like it was barely any Godzilla in there. Like if you cut up the moments Godzilla's in the 2014 and then compare it to the 1998 one, the 1998 one, Godzilla is in his movie way more than the 2014 one.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's funny because the 2014 one, like you were asking, the King of the Monsters does rectify that because, well, to be honest, a lot of the reviews were saying that the human characters in King of the Monsters weren't all that great, and I might just be biased because I adore this movie with 100% of my being, but I actually like the human characters in it. But yes, Godzilla is in it way more than he was in the original one, or in the 2014 one. And there's like 3 more monsters who also have a lot of screen time. I think the main thing they learned after the 2014 one was Godzilla and the monsters are characters. In 2014, it was like they were just something that was happening in the background, you know? And that somehow the military guy was there at every step. Like, somehow he followed them everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way you could be this unlucky or lucky.
Yeah, this was basically like the 2014. I'll sum it up. 2014 was akin to I'll Be Home for Christmas. It was about a dude who's trying to get home for Christmas to see his family, and every step of the way, it was stuff. Some bad thing was happening. This was I'll Be Home for Christmas. He was trying to get home to see his wife and everything, and these monsters is effing up everything, and he just somehow got pulled back into the his little service thing, and he was like, well, instead of looking for my family, I'm just gonna fight the beast. Like, it became about them.
Basically what it is.
It was about him, not Godzilla. That was my biggest thing. But the 1998 one is about Godzilla. It's not about Nick Makalakilis or however the Kipalopolis or however the hell you want to say his last name. It's not really about. Yeah. It's not about him. It's about Godzilla. Like Godzilla is. He's not a character, Godzilla or his babies, because like after they quote unquote kill Godzilla, it's more than the babies. It becomes like a horror show thing, but like it's more about Godzilla. Like Godzilla isn't a character in that movie though. He's more of like he's treated as a monster or a plot device in that one, versus the one in the 2014. He's not a character nor a plot device, in all honesty. The plot devices are the two new monsters. Those are the plot devices. Those are the problem. Godzilla was the solution, quote unquote.
Yeah, and you just get to watch him do it in the background. Sucks.
Yeah.
But a big thing with the 1998 one, I was reading about it earlier today because I was thinking, I didn't know if the director of the movie had even seen a Godzilla movie, which that's another. And I hate to go back to Dragon Ball Evolution. Don't get a director who's never seen the source material to make this movie. Yeah. Don't do that.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure Roland Emmerich had seen a Godzilla movie before he made this one. But he went about it like, yes, this is a Godzilla movie. We're going to have his origin story. And he even says it. That's all we're doing. Everything else I'm going to make up on my own. It's going to be Godzilla, but it's not going to be Godzilla. I was like, well, you succeeded in that, man.
I just feel like the movie probably would have been a bit more well received if he was fighting something other than the military. Yeah. Because when people heard about Godzilla, they were expecting stuff from the old movies and the old Toei movies and everything. That's what they were expecting. They was expecting something like a King Ghidorah or a Mothra to show up, not a 50-foot tall T-Rex looking thing. And because last night I was thinking about it, because I was texting back and forth with Isaac, and at first I was like, I kind of like the design of the 1998 Godzilla more than I do the 2014. But now actually, because it was really dark in the 2014 one, so I couldn't really, you couldn't really get a good see until like towards the end where Godzilla blows fire down that one dude's throat, and the city is on fire behind him. You could see him now, and you can see him a little bit better. And I was like, now, if the 1998 one fought the 2004 one, I think he would give him a little run for his money, because I think the 2014 one is a little bit slow. But
it's not the case at all.
But like in a fight of fisticuffs, I think the 2014 would probably drop him. One, because he has his signature move. He has his Hadoken. The 1998 one does not have a Hadoken. He does not have projectile. He cannot play keep away. I don't even think he can play footsies. But like design wise, the 2014 one looks like a modern day Godzilla. He looks more akin to Godzilla. The 1998 one, he looks more like a dinosaur than
with a J Little chin.
Yeah, like that chin is ridiculous. And I just like, when I was watching the movie, I was just like, man, I used to thought this was cool.
I know, right?
Yeah.
I really
Like,
thought
wow.
this was cool.
Walt, let me tell you this. I don't know. Do you know the story of Godzilla Final Wars, Walt?
No, but I
know
was,
exactly what you're doing.
When I was trying to research the movie and everything, I was seeing a lot of stuff like for instance the Godzilla Final Wars, and I was like, he had Final War? He had wars? What the? I just thought he just was coming up beating up monsters. Just
Walt, that movie. If you want a full-blown anime Godzilla movie, that's the one for you because
Oh yeah,
Godzilla goes on a world tour and beats the shit out of every monster that gets in front of him. It's one of the coolest things. It's one of the coolest movies ever made. It's stupid as hell, but it's so good.
It's one of my favorite Godzilla movies of all time.
Cause he's so badass in that movie. There's like when they first let him out, he's frozen from like a previous battle or something like that, and they let him out, and Godzilla comes out of it and starts roaring, and they do the anime thing where they zoom in on his eye, and his eye's on fire. I was like, oh my god. It's so dumb.
But
is it animated?
Yeah. No, it's like a Godzilla movie.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was one of the last Japanese Godzilla movies that they made in a while until Shin Godzilla.
They made it in 2004, and then they were like, we're gonna take a 10-year break, no Godzilla movie. And then the first movie that came out after that was Godzilla 2014, and then so on and so forth. But Final Wars is a big deal because of a lot of things, really. But I laugh about this every time. Japan hated the 1998 Godzilla movie so much, they bought the rights to this specific character to put him in Final Wars and have him get killed in second. He fights the Japanese Godzilla in that movie, and the name of that scene is called Pretender to the Throne, and he runs at the Japanese Godzilla, jumps at him, Godzilla dodges him and smacks him with his tail, and then breathes fire and blows him up. That was it. They were that's what we think of your Godzilla.
Basically, they were in Sydney, and he bopped him with his tail, and he landed on the Sydney Opera House, and then he proceeds to light the Opera House, like he blew it all up. And all you can hear is his dying roar.
They were so mad about that 98 movie, dude.
I'm assuming they didn't watch the anime, because the animated, the Godzilla the series kind of made up for it, because
I don't know if they ever.
I don't think they cared about.
You got Godzilla at that point, he had the fire breath and everything, and he was fighting monsters similar to the monsters that are in the Godzilla mythos and everything, but he was fighting monsters and everything.
I feel like they probably have watched it between now and then, and they probably like it a lot more. But I think a big deal was when the 2014 one came out, Japan loved that movie. They loved that version of Godzilla. I'm sure they had the same qualms about it as we do, that there's not enough Godzilla in the movie. But of what they saw of him, they were like, yeah, that's our Godzilla. It got to the point where they built a statue of him in their park and all that kind of stuff. It was dope. It was great.
Didn't they initially complain that he was too fat?
They did think he was too fat.
Yeah, I thought that too. That's what I said. I was like, he's a big boy. He is a big boy.
He's a massive boy.
And what's hilarious, and what's hilarious, when he first shows up in the movie, you see his foot.
Yeah. I saw the
and
foot.
He has this elephant looking.
Exactly. That's exactly when I first saw the foot. When I first saw his foot, and then when it pans up and you kind of see him, because it's still very dark during that scene, and you kind of see him, and I'm just and that's when I immediately text Isaac, and I was like, I think I like the design of the 1998 one better. When I saw that, I was like, man, no.
They that was a lot of there was a lot of design choices of that 2014 one that I didn't really like. Mainly the feet.
Yeah.
I don't like how small, like how short his arms were, and I didn't really like the spikes on his back. But all those things they changed for King of the Monsters.
Oh, they changed them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's got like I'm pretty sure there's like a story reason for it. They explain it in a comic book. There's a so his spikes for one thing look different in King of the Monsters. They look more like Godzilla's actually does, and it's because he fights something in the comic book, and this creature breaks one of the spikes on his back, and then he's getting ready to charge up the atomic breath, but instead he channels all of it into his back, and he blows up his spikes in like this huge explosion, and then he regrows them, and now they look like his actual Godzilla spike.
Okay, there's a one shot with the movie, dude. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a ton of
because when and at the end of the movie, like once he does his final like super breath thing down the dude, like, and it was cool. That was pretty cool. It was a badass thing. But once he did all that and then he just failed, and I was like, did this nigga die? Who is the Godzilla in the second one? Then the whole time I was like, am I gonna have to ask this man? Does he have a son? Is that his son in the second one? Is that what we doing? Is that what we're doing? And then when they pan on him, you see the birds flying around him and everything. I was like, that nigga dead for real. He is dead. They killed. How did they kill? Why did they kill him off? Did they not think they were getting a second movie? And then he snorts. I was like, oh, that nigga was just asleep. He was in a deep sleep. He was super asleep.
Yeah.
I was like, all they needed to do was put some drool on him, and he just woke up and he looked around like, do I got my keys? He patted himself like, I got my keys. Okay. And then he walked towards the pier and just was like, roar. I don't even think that was like a dominant roar. That was like, I'm a waking war. I'm like, oh man, oh boy, that was a great sleep. That was a great sleep. He looked back and it's like, ooh, that city is messed up. Good luck. And then he just jumped in the water, and then the movie cuts to black, and I was like, what the fuck? Then how did all these other monsters? And I sat there through the credits. I blame Marvel movies for this, but I sat through the credits and I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, maybe we're gonna get a thing where like more monsters show up or anything. Nope, did not. And I was like, son of a, how does where did all the other monsters come from in the second movie? And then I just like, oh well, it looks like I gotta watch this second movie now. And I started it.
Watch Kong Skull Island first.
I started it,
like,
and then I fell asleep, so I gotta rewatch it. It's nothing. The movie wasn't boring or anything like that. It was like 2:00 in the morning, and I'm old.
Which movie?
King of the Monsters.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I was watching it like that. I know you told me the order is actually, the chronological order is Kong Skull Island, then Godzilla, and then King of the Monsters.
Yeah.
I know that's the order, the correct order to watch them and everything, because I have Kong Skull Island. But I was watching them as they were released. So Godzilla was first, then King of the Monsters, then Kong Skull Island.
No, Skull Island.
No, Skull Island was because there was
Skull Island came out before King of the Monsters.
Yeah, because there was like a teaser for King of the Monsters in that one.
Oh, okay then. Well, I'll watch Skull Island next then, and then King of the Monsters. So next time y'all hear us, we will be talking about Kong Skull Island. And yeah, so wait, I also have a question before we go. Is that the same monkey? Is that the same Kong in Godzilla vs Kong, or is that a different Kong?
Yes.
That's the same Kong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Man,
he was growing.
I know your question. I'll answer this. Like I already know your question because like a ton of people have asked me this already. Kong Skull Island is set near the end of the Vietnam War, so it's like early 70s.
Uh-huh.
And Godzilla vs Kong is set 5 years after King of the Monsters, which was in modern day. So Kong has been growing for 50-something years at this point.
So the Kong in Skull Island was basically a kid. Is that where you're he's a kid.
Yeah, he's a kid.
So the Kong that fights Godzilla in Godzilla vs Kong, that man's an adult. He's in his adult form, basically.
He's a grown man.
Now,
he got a big old beard and everything.
What about Godzilla?
He's got a beard and everything.
Is Godzilla an adult, or is Godzilla old man Godzilla?
Godzilla's I think he's like thousands of years old or something.
Yeah,
he's super old.
No wonder he moves
like
that.
He's been asleep this whole time. Like he's been in stasis this whole time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But before the 2014 one, he was gone for so long that people thought he was just a myth. That kind of thing.
Yeah, I remember.
People had no idea that
Ken Watanabe's character and stuff. They were talking about that and everything, and you kind of get like some kind of views on how his origin was or where he came from and everything. But and that was another thing about the movie. Like, it didn't really explain anything. Like, you got this pod, monster came out, and then now he was looking for his mate, and then Godzilla just showed up. He had danger senses. Like, I must save the world.
Oh, speaking of that, the Muto pod at the beginning of the 2014 one, the skeleton they were talking about?
Yeah.
That they found the pod on? That was a Godzilla before the Godzilla. And I believe its name was like Dagon or something like that.
Yeah.
So it was one of Godzilla's species, but Godzilla is the last of his kind.
Okay.
And Kong is the last of his kind as well.
Yeah, we had the.
Don't worry. You're gonna get a lot, like a ton of backstory stuff in King of the Monsters, because
there's a lot of that.
They make Godzilla a character in that movie, so you get a lot of stuff about him, and it makes. Oh, I can't wait till we talk about that movie. I'm ready.
The next one we will be talking about. The next video you guys, you wonderful, beautiful nerd duo, is going to be listening to is us talking about Kong Skull Island. The last one will be Godzilla King of the Monsters, and then by the time all that happens, we will have Godzilla vs Kong be out. So don't worry about that. We will talk about that. We might do something for the animated series. I don't know, or the 70s one, up from the depths, 30 stories high. But tell us in the comments below what you thought about the 1998 one and the 2014 one. Is the 1998 one that bad of a Godzilla movie? Do you agree with us? Do you not? Like, favorite, share, subscribe, all that other jazz, and we will catch you in the next one. Peace.